State of the State address from Jared Polis, our new governor. Political specialist Sean Boyd joins us right now from the Capitol. And Sean, you've been talking with Republicans about their view of this speech. What do they have to say?
Alan, as is often the case with State of the State addresses, this one was long on ideas, short on specifics. Joining me is the Republican leader of the House, Patrick Neville. Just give me off the top your reaction to the speech.
Well, I think overall he started off with the major concern being the cost of living, but then started talking about ideas that will increase the cost of living in Colorado, and he used the term free quite a bit. And as we know, nothing in life is free, so we keep using that term, but we got to decide who's paying for all this free stuff.
So you spent a lot of time talking about free full-day kindergarten. Your objection to that?
Right, it was just free is ultimately coming from the taxpayers. It means the taxpayers are paying for it, and he outlined that with some other policies too, saying it was free. Nothing is free down here, and we do have a limited budget, limited amount of resources, and we've got to use it wisely. So where does the money come from?
Right, all-day kindergarten costing $230 million a year, and it's an ongoing expense. One thing, for all that he talked about down here, one thing noticeably missing from this address was gun control, something that the Speaker of the House focused on quite a bit in her opening address. What do you make of that?
Well, I think his tone was actually a lot different from the Speaker of the House's speech overall. He had a much more positive tone than she had. I think she's going to have a difficulty because she has a much more progressive and active caucus than even the governor is.
So we talked generally about bringing down health care costs. Where will Republicans find agreement, common ground with him on that?
Well, I think we can all agree that the current system isn't working, and that since the Affordable Care Act was passed, healthcare costs have skyrocketed, so we do need to do something. I do like some of the ideas that he mentioned about getting free market forces back in there, but we need to make sure that it's transparency for the consumer, not just transparency for different government agencies, but actually for the consumers.
Lastly, just briefly, he talked very briefly about oil and gas, saying communities should have some more control over industrial activity. That was like a paragraph in this entire speech. What do you think of that?
That was pretty interesting that it was short. We do have concerns with what does that look like? Again, no specifics. So we'd like to see the specifics on it.
All right. Thank you very much. Alan, we're going to toss it back to you.